afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Will Michael. Whether you live here or are just visiting, a visit to the farm is a popular pastime in Vermont. Our state, of course, boasts farm fresh pick-your-own operations, cheese-making classes, maple tasting, and even dinners on the farm. Many farms are open year-round. They feature a farm stand. Other farms are open on special occasions. And starting August 6th, Vermont's annual Open Farm Week will showcase over 100 farms all across the state. From August 6th to the 13th, Open Farm Week allows you to meet your local farmer, get a behind-the-scenes look into Vermont's vibrant working agricultural landscape. And to tell us more about Open Farm Week, I'll be visiting with two guests this afternoon. To get us started here in the studio, I want to welcome Tara Piera. Tara is the Executive Director of the Vermont Fresh Network and part of Open Farm Week's organizing team. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So for the uninitiated, and you've done this for a number of years, what is Open Farm Week all about?
Well, Open Farm Week is a celebration of Vermont farms, our farmers. You're getting behind the scenes look at our farms. Not all of these farms are open to the public. Some are just open during this 1 week. And so it's great to get a different view of the state through our farms.
So fresh food outdoors, if that's the kind of activity event that you like, Open Farm Week is for you. And there's something everywhere in the state, as we're about to find out.
Yeah, definitely. And this year we have events in every county in the state, multiple events. Open Farm Week allows the public to build a deeper connection with Vermont's food and farm community, with other members of the public who care about agriculture. And we want, well, as I mentioned, we want the public, we want people to see Vermont through the farms, explore that, see that perspective. And Open Farm Week is a great way to do that. There are many states that have maybe an open farm day or an open farm weekend, but Vermont, as far as I know, is the only state with an open farm week.
So our director, Brock Sutterfield, is kindly putting some pictures on the screen. Some of the various events, we're seeing some. Tell us more, whether it's pick your own, tractors, what else have you got going on?
Yeah, so we have maple pie contests, dinners on the farm, 5K races, and of course, farm tours. In addition to food, we have on-farm events that are more craft or art-oriented, from herding demonstrations to making flower crowns at a flower farm to musical concerts. There's really such a quite range of and diverse experience that you can take advantage of. So
you referenced other states maybe having a day or a weekend. Only in Vermont, or I should say in Vermont, we do it as a week. This began in 2015. The pandemic caused a wrinkle, as it did for a lot of things. So there is some history here starting in 2015. What's some of the feedback that you hear from attendees who've gone to Open Farm Week in previous years?
Well, I think that for it's a way to, especially during the pandemic, we want folks to get outside. Everyone wanted to get outside. And so that was just an opportunity. It's an opportunity to just be with other people who care about farms and food. And they get a sneak peek. Like there's an orchard who's had has had Open Farm Week events that say that in this time of year, people can get a sneak peek of the orchard, and they'll often come back for the fall season. So it's really bringing in new customers to farms.
And again, you don't have to buy, but this is also an opportunity to go and buy, because you're right there.
Oh, most definitely. And also, as you mentioned, people can pick their own. This is a great time of year for blueberries and berries, and there's burger night, and it's just people want to have a good time, and the farmers want to have a good time with the people who are participating in these events.
We both noted that this is statewide. There's everything from Meet the Morgan horses to tours of orchards. There's a whole lot more. Who pulls all this together?
It's a Vermont Fresh Network works in partnership with a number of organizations. NOFA Vermont, UVM Extension, the Vermont Agency of Agriculture, Food and Markets, Vermont Department of Tourism, the Farm Education Network. So it's a group of a collaborative effort, definitely, between all
now,
of our
before
orgs.
the end of the program, we're going to have a website where people can go for more information to find out about all the schedule. Are there tickets? Do people have to buy a ticket? Do they need to register? Do they need to do anything? Or can they just check the website and show up?
They should definitely check the website. Some of the events do have tickets. A lot of the events just show up and go on a tour. But example, the 5K race, you should probably register if you're going to be there. But it varies from farm to farm and event to event.
Okay. Now, you've mentioned the more than 100 open farm sites. We're going to take a moment to visit one of those sites. Across the Fence spoke with a small-scale farm in Montpelier.
We are at Ananda Gardens. We are 7 minutes close to downtown Montpelier. And this is a Vermont Wellness Farm. It's a farm that is devoted to health, to wellness, through producing nutritious and healthy food for our community. Most of the things that can be planted in Vermont, we try to have them. So we have around 80 varieties of crops that depends on the season. Right now, for example, we're getting our first tomatoes, cucumbers. We are specializing greens because greens are very, very good for us. And that's one of the things. We distribute our produce through a CSA. We have like around 125 CSA members. In the summer season, we did like 150 for our spring season, and we go 3 seasons. We go through fall. People get their CSA through our delivery system. We go home to home, and also we do a farm stand so people can come and visit us.
Why is it important for people to come here? Why do you want the public on your property?
I want them to come. We want them to come because it's a great way to connect with the source of their food. It's a great way to really see and witness the miracle of what it takes to grow their food. Part of our mission as being a wellness farm is that people knows the difference of just getting ingredients from a supermarket than actually eating food, living food that comes from living soils. There is a big difference from a carrot that has been grown in a soil that has been taken care for years to develop the amount of nutrients that it has. And people know the difference when they taste it. You know, it's not so hard to love it once you try the difference. So it is different when people come and walk the gardens, and they slowly start to see how the gardens pick up in the abundance and the bounty, and see what all the work when they see the farm team and us working in the gardens.
What are you doing for the 2023 Open Farm Week?
Partnering with NOFA Vermont, and they're gonna bring their firewood pizza oven, and they're gonna bring that. We're gonna provide the vegetables. I hear from some members of our community that they have already RSVP for the activity, so it's gonna be exciting.
Why do you participate in Open Farm Week?
For us as farmers, to bring people from the community, not just our CSA members that already come, right? To bring more people from the communities, it's a great opportunity for them to get to know us. Some people know that we exist, but if they don't have a reason to come to the farm because they are not CSA members or because they are not sure like to buy from us, this builds this kind of like bridge. It becomes like a bridge. It's an opportunity. It's there. It's already advertised. It's supported by others. So it's something that it's kind of like have become in a way as like a tradition in Vermont. That tradition bridges the opportunity for people to come and get to know us.
Love the enthusiasm. Our thanks to Melisa and her team at Ananda Gardens in Montpelier as they prep for Open Farm Week starting August 6th. UVM Extension Professor Lisa Chase is also getting ready, as she has in years past. Lisa is the director of the Vermont Tourism Research Center. She specializes in agritourism, food systems, and natural resources. Lisa, good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me and for doing this show on Open Farm Week.
Well, tell us, is Open Farm Week a form of agritourism?
Absolutely. Agritourism is anytime visitors go to a farm, a vineyard, any type of agriculture or aquaculture operation. So Open Farm Week is all about agritourism.
Can you tell us about general trends you've seen in agritourism in Vermont during the past decade or so? And I want to point out that's going to include the pandemic, which affected everything.
Yes, agritourism has really taken off here in Vermont and throughout the US and the world. And during the pandemic, certain types of agritourism, like the gatherings on farms, those were closed, but buying directly from farms was even more important, and that really spiked during the pandemic. And now that people are out traveling again, gatherings on farms, overnight farm stays, all of that is on the rise here in Vermont and around the world.
Great news, great news. Lisa, viewers may recall the international workshop on agritourism was held almost a year ago, last August in Burlington, and that led to the launch of the Global Agritourism Network, and you were elected the founding chair. What's the network's role? What does it mean for Vermont?
The Global Agritourism Network, as you mentioned, was a direct outgrowth of the conference that we held here in Vermont. At that conference, we heard a very clear call for some sort of structure or network to bring us together and help us work collaboratively, not only in Vermont, but around the country and around the world. So after the conference, a small group of us met and developed this network, and we had an official launch at a Zoom meeting hosted by UVM Extension, and we had over 600 registrants from 81 countries for that first launch. So it's been very exciting to see the momentum and the groundswell of support for agritourism through this Global Agritourism Network.
And Lisa, a lot of that credit belongs to you, your work over the last 2 decades, not only here in Vermont, but around the region and the country. I need to stop us there as we're just about out of time. I want to give our viewers a final reminder that Open Farm Week kicks off on Sunday, August 6th. You can get a complete listing of all the farms involved, all the activities being offered. All you have to do is go to the website on your screen, diginvt.com. That's diginvt.com. And that's our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit across the fence.